Hey guys, it's Sharon here and welcome back to my channel. And as promised, this is going to be the second journal tag. This tag was done by the Journaltree, so I will go ahead and link her video in the description. In this tag there is, I've got them written down here in my journal, there are 15 questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Number 1, what is the longest entry you have ever written? Probably my longest entry would be about 15 pages, not 15 sheets, but 15 pages, which meant 7 sheets and then the front side of the 8th sheet. Sometimes I get diarrhea of the fingers and I write for reams and reams and reams, and that was a real long entry that day. Number 2, what is the shortest? I would say the shortest would be about half a page. I don't like to do one-liners or just a couple of sentences or whatever. If I'm going to write something, I want to make it, you know, a little bit worth my while anyway. So probably the shortest would have to be about half of a page. And this is the size of the pages in this journal that I'm currently using right now. It's quite big. Number 3. What don't you put in your journals? Examples would be pictures, receipts. Pictures and receipts. I want to try to get these questions word for word. I will go ahead and include the questions in the description section of this video. I guess I'm a pretty boring journaler because I pretty much write just straight text. Now, if there's a journal that I purpose for putting pictures and stuff in, like my Hobonichi cousin, I will do that. And that one has, you know, I use color pencils in that. I have pictures, I have stickers, I do stamps in that one. But when I do a journal that's just straight writing, I just do straight writing. There is a couple of pictures in my current journal, but I don't do that as a rule. I guess I'm pretty boring that way. I can't draw to save my soul, so, you know, I just do text pretty much. All right, question number 4. What draws you to a journal? Is it the color, the design, the brand, or the paper? Sort of all of the above, I guess. I love journals, but I'm a little picky about what I get. I have to like the cover design. I have to, you know, really like how it looks. Probably the brands well, I'll answer that in the next question, but, there are certain brands that I tend to use. That's not to say that I wouldn't try new brands. Like, I've never tried a Molly and Rex journal, never done the Punch Studio or the Studio O. I think I have 1 or 2 Ecolo journals, which are pretty cool. But really what draws me to a journal is how it looks and the quality of paper. I use predominantly fountain pen in my journals. Probably like 99% of the journals I write, I like to use my fountain pens. So if the journal has paper that is not going to take well to fountain pens, I generally stay away from those because I like good quality paper if I'm going to keep a journal. That's just me. Number 5, is there a brand you prefer? Well, the ones I tend to sort of gravitate to just because of what's in my collection, I have a lot of Peter Popper Press. I like those journals. I think they have some really beautiful journals. I love paper blanks. The quality of the paper is wonderful. And there's different sizes that you can get, so I like those options. From what I have written in with Ecolo, I don't have that much experience with Ecolo, but I, you know, definitely like to get more because I think I've seen other people that have, I've seen people that have a lot of Ecolo journals and they seem to be really cool. I love, 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 love the Barnes & Noble leather ones. Like this one that I'm currently using. This is my beautiful, beautiful Duchessa journal, Duchessa Music Notes journal, and it's a really, really thick journal, as you can see, and I've been using this one since, when was my first entry in this one? I did this on another video, May 15th, 2014, so, you know, it's taking me a little bit to get through, but then, as I said, I pretty much am just a straight writer in my journals. got off a topic. I love the Barnes & Noble handmade Italian leather journals. They're just, you're going to pay through the nose for them, but they are so beautiful and they're great quality. And I also love I guess what I call the medieval style journals with the leather and it looks like the handmade paper. They're just beautiful. But that's not to say that I wouldn't try other brands. I try to keep an open mind when it comes to journals, and you know, I'll give anything a fair shot. Number 6, pencil or pen. Definitely pen, and it has to be a fountain pen. Number 7, blank paper or lined. Lined, because as I said, I write predominantly text and I can't write straight to save my soul. So I like the lines. Now I hate pages when the lines are just so spaced together that you can hardly get your pen in there, but I hate lines that are really, really far apart that you can drive a Mack truck through them. So they have to be really, really good lines, I guess. And I don't like them too terribly faint, but I don't like them super dark either. I think that just takes away from the attractiveness of the page. Number 8, pocket or no pocket. You know, I really don't have any kind of strong feelings either way. It's okay if I have a pocket, because if there's maybe a little trinket or something I want to put in there, that's great to have. But if it doesn't have a pocket, I'm not too fussed about it. So it's not a deal breaker for me either way. Honestly, it really doesn't matter to me. Number 9, where do you usually get your journals? I predominantly get my journals from Amazon.com, although I did get a few from Barnes & Noble, which those are the leather ones that I was talking about, which you can't get from Amazon. But I predominantly get my stuff from Amazon. I've gotten a couple of them from eBay, a couple of the medieval ones. I've also gotten a couple of the medieval ones through some place called Nostalgic Memories, I think it was. And it was, the reason I found them was because it was a sponsored ad or something on Amazon. So Amazon kind of led me to them. But I predominantly get all of my stuff from Amazon. Number 10, knock on wood. Knock on wood, what would happen to your journals if you passed away? Well, I guess, you know, God forbid if I died tomorrow or something, my husband John would get them. What he does with them after I croak, if I croak before him, well, I guess I'm really not going to know, because after I'm dead, I guess I'm really not going to care. But yeah, that would be who they would go to. Number 11, what don't you write in your journals? Pretty much for me, anything and everything goes. So, yeah, what do I put in my journals? Anything. What don't I put? Well, as I said, anything goes. So there's really not much that I don't put in. I guess really the thing that I don't put in is people's names and addresses, because I have other things, other places for that. Number 12, do you let anyone read your journals? No. Sometimes if there's an entry that I want to show someone because it pertains to something we were talking about, I might do that, but generally no. But then I really don't have anybody here that tries to. So I feel safe, storing them on my shelf, and nobody really gets into them. So I don't really have any trouble with anybody trying to snoop. Number 13, do you take your journals everywhere? It kind of depends. Like this nice book like this, I have taken to a few places, but I've kind of gotten out of that because, if I lost this thing, or if I lost one of my really nice journals, I think I would cry and cry and cry and cry, and there would be no shutting me up. Right, dear? Right. See, my husband agrees. So, what I tend to do if I'm going to be on a trip, like, we're out of town a bit with some of our Lions Club stuff. So I will take my Midori Traveler's Notebook and journal in that when we're out of town, and then just leave my nicer ones at home, because I can always pick that back up when I get home, and then I don't run the risk of losing this or damaging it. Number 14. How do you start the very first, and I had to turn the page. How do you start the very first entry in a new journal? Nothing really special. Like, I don't do any kind of an introductory page or any kind of biographical thing. I just pretty much start where I left off. And this is going to kind of get into the last question. I just pretty much start where I left off and pick up where I was in the previous journal, and then just, you know, just because I number my journals, like, I number my journals. So when this one is done, this is going to have a number on it, and it's just going to go in like chronological order, and it'll just pick up with a new day and a new entry. So no biographical information, no introduction, no howdy journal, my name is whatever, you know. I just pick up where I left off. Okay, question 15. How do you write the end? And they mean, how do you write the end of a journal? I don't do the, well, journal so long, it's nice knowing you, or bye for now. I don't do that kind of thing. What I may have to cut an entry short because I don't have a lot of writing space left, but I just, I try to end an entry as smoothly as I can with the space that I have left, and then I will just pick up where I left off in the new journal. So nothing special, nothing elaborate or anything. It just, each book just goes from one book into the next, into the next, and then to the next. Okay, so thank you to Journaltree for creating this little tag. I enjoyed doing this. And if you do this tag, let me know. I'll come and watch it. And I will link Journaltree's video in the description, as well as a couple of other, I think I've seen a couple of other people do this tag too. So I'll link those videos in the description, whatever I find. So subscribe to my channel if you want to see more like this. Hit the like button if you like this tag video, and we'll talk to you guys all later. Bye, guys.